Welcome home, Rat Pack. Marcus here, and as you can see, we are going into the flea market again. I cannot wait. We try to do this once every other week, but I can tell you guys that today is going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, every time we come to this flea market, pretty much we have an incredible time. We find some awesome stuff, but I have to say, I think this might be one of our biggest hauls ever. As you guys know, I'm going to be commentating over it, but you will have some raw footage throughout the video as well, so that way you get more of my natural thought rather than me rushing to cover things in the moment while I'm trying to do so many other things. But I do have to put a little disclaimer in this video, or a little warning, I guess, because I made a huge mistake. We are going to cover this video. We have so much awesome stuff to check out, but the camera that I use to do these videos, it has a slow-mo feature, and however it may have happened, I switched to slow-mo while setting the camera up in the morning, so therefore all of the footage looked like this, and it had no audio. But thanks to the amazing power that is Ryan, the editor, he is able to save the footage. But because of that, as I'm commentating over it, there's going to be really no way that we can line up what I'm saying with it. So if this video feels a little bit janky and some of my commentary doesn't really match up perfectly with what's happening, that is why. It is 100% my fault, and I am super disappointed about it. But it is what it is, and I figured I'd at least try to save this somehow. We would try to save it so that way at least you guys got to see this trip rather than just not doing anything with it. Of course, the next flea market video should hopefully be back to normal. I don't think I'll forget this time after this trauma. Anyway, let's continue on though. We're walking into the flea market and we are going to carry our way over to our first booth and see what we found. So we pulled up to the first booth, and this guy I typically don't go to just because he sells a lot of antique stuff and it's really expensive. He doesn't usually have the type of stuff I'm looking for, but I did see these boxes of plushies, so I decided I'll take a look and see what he's got there. And I'll let in present me take care of that for you, and you guys can see what I found.
How much for the plush?
So the guy said 3 for $10. I didn't know if I was even going to be able to find 3 plushies that were good, you know, for $10. I found Mickey Mouse. You guys saw me grab a couple things as this footage playing. I don't know exactly what you're thinking at this moment, which is unfortunate today. But I did find like 2, so I was like, I am determined to try to find 3 plushies here and see what we've got. So you guys will see what I'm grabbing here, hopefully. I ended up grabbing 2 Garfield plushies. You guys see they're both Christmas themed, which I've had the regular clamp version of Garfield before, and that one I think we've sold for like around $20, $25. I knew it was worth grabbing, but then I also found another Garfield that was Christmas themed. So I was like, okay, now we have 2. I need to find 1 more, and lo and behold, Gumby returns again for like, I think the 3rd flea market video. I found this Gumby plushie here. So we ended up with those 3 items, and I paid my $10, and I left behind a couple other things. I knew I wasn't going to find 3 that I wanted again, and then we moved on from that booth. And of course, we will do a couple booths here before we do a check-in, and you guys get to see exactly what the overall total value is based off of how much I paid in all today. So I think I paid a lot today. I think I would say I paid around $500 in total at the flea market this day. So that's the price to beat, but let's go check out a few more finds before we cover a little section of the stuff that we found and also price it. Oh yeah, and then right before I was about to leave that booth, like I said, he has really expensive, crazy stuff. I saw this freaking helmet, which reminds me a lot of Bigger Boot. It's an old school style scuba diving helmet, and yes, what I love to have that in my collection. Just as a Spongebob fan, I would love to have that in the collection. But the only problem is the price. He said it was $1,800, but he would do $1,300 for me. We're gonna have to flip a lot more stuff in these flea market videos if I'm gonna get that helmet. But I don't think I'm gonna. That's whoa. But it's cool to see, and we got to get a shot of it at least. You never know. Maybe one day I'll end up with one of those. So the next booth I went to, I grabbed this Steve Harvey's Family Feud. I don't know why, but that's just an item that sells really well. So I always say I'm not going to leave free money on the table when it's there. But they also had this awesome Simpsons card game. Like, I don't even know. I guess it was like his own board game style thing with like Homer in his workstation. And I really was thinking about getting it, but he was asking $20 for it, and even knew this thing was going for about $35 when I checked it out. So, you know, being used, not even knowing how many cards cards were in there. I just said, I'm gonna leave this. It was very cool, but it ended up just getting the Steve Harvey Family Feud. Moving on though, we went over to our guy, $1 one item guy, which he has these bins where everything is $1 freaking dollar. We found last time the Kipper. Do you guys remember that keychain that we found? Yeah, I freaking already sold it for $110. So we turned $1 into freaking 90. So I always check out $1 one item guy. You never know what you'll find in those things. But I did see something else pretty nostalgic along the way. $1 one item guy did not have much, unfortunately. I looked through those bins. I didn't really see any inklings or signs of the stuff that we look for. Again, I'm sure there was some good, maybe even profitable items there, but I like to keep it fun and look for the stuff that I enjoy finding, and I didn't see anything like that, so I didn't dig too deep. And we moved on to the next booth, which was probably the biggest score of the day. And it was a booth that had an unholy amount of Hello Kitty stuff, all Sanrio stuff actually, from circa 1999 till 2005, which are like the peak years for me and I think for a lot of people. It turned out it was all from a storage locker that was owned by a store owner of an old school Hello Kitty shop. They owned a franchise Hello Kitty store, so this is all inventory for when they closed up shop that was stored in hopes of doing something with it at some point, but I guess they just probably paid the storage fee on that for like freaking 20 years and then we're just like, yeah, screw it. And they stopped paying for it, and then this guy got it. So as I was looking around, I could not believe my eyes. There were so many good items here. You guys are seeing some of it on screen here. Unfortunately, this was not filmed like to showcase to everything that they had to you guys. It was more filmed for you to kind of follow along with me. But because of the fact, again, the slow-mo issue, you guys are just seeing some of the stuff that I grabbed along the way. But I think that it was not just a Sanrio store they owned. I think that they also, at some point, maybe owned another store that was just one of those like classic Chinese or like Japanese stores that we had in the 90s. I know most people probably had one of these type of shops near them as a kid, where it was kind of like a Asian owned store. They kind of carried a lot of stuff where there was Sanrio, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, just all that kind of stuff in one shop. I used to go to them often to buy Pokemon cards as a kid, because we found some stuff that was not Sanrio stuff too, but the stuff was very, very high priced. Not like high price in the terms of like at the store. It was actually very generously priced. But the thing was, is there was no kind of rhyme or reason to the pricing. For example, this Choco Cat folder was $10, but also so was this Choco Cat freaking cork board from freaking 2000. Like, it obviously is a much better item than a single folder, but they were both $10. So you had to really look and see what stuff was worth that price, because if you grab some of the smaller items, like for example these Hello Kitty clipboards, it might not be worth it at $10, but if you can get like a freaking Choco Cat Y2K wall clock, that might be worth the $10, you know? So I had to look through everything, but even the folder and the writing board and stuff like that, I was able to get an incredible deal on it, just because I know this vendor. We have a very good rapport with each other, and I picked up a lot of stuff. So the folders that he was asking most people $10 for, because they might only be buying one or two items, he was giving me for $5. And the same thing with the clipboards, I was getting them for about $5. And at those prices, it was worth it. So I looked through everything and we grabbed a whole lot of stuff. We even found a couple Lizzie McGuire items, which were mostly like lip gloss and like cosmetic stuff, but they all came with like little figures or little keychains. And I know Lizzie McGuire stuff is so uncommon that that in itself would be worth it. And we even found, you know, these little Spongebob like coin purses from Universal Studios with the tag on them. And I have no clue why they had them. They had 3 of them. Like I said, they were like on shelves at some point, but they were also Universal Studios exclusive, so I have no clue why they had them. But an awesome dude that was there, you know, was like, yeah, like, you know, here, take these. But I'll show you guys. I think we have to do our little like freaking video checkpoint coverage here in like evaluation, and I'll be covering it briefly so we can get right back into the hunt. You guys know I like to do these checkpoints throughout to kind of get a view of everything close up personal, and also see how we're doing. Okay, so for the Garfield stuff, let's just start with that, because when it comes to this Hello Kitty stuff, you guys are not going to believe it. I think this is probably one of the biggest valued hauls in the flea market series. I always come across these situations where something like this happens in the day, and you're buying a lot, but you're kind of like, ah, man, I don't want to take too much risk. But when you see the kind of numbers we're going to be pulling from this stuff, it's one of those situations where I wish I could go back in time and would have bought so much more. Even though I did get a whole lot. You guys can see on screen the haul that I was like working out to pay for at the end. But let's take a look here. So starting off the little Garfield here, I've thought about him being pretty good because I sold one for 20, but this one goes for about 25 bucks, and he has a little bell too. This Garfield here, I'm pretty sure he had like a Santa Claus beard on at one point, because the only one I could find had this luscious beard. He doesn't have that, so I'm just gonna say 10 bucks for him, because even the one with the beard goes for about 14, which we're already in the clear with that little Garfield, because I paid 10 for all these plushies. And then the Gumby here, being from 1983, I knew he was gonna be a good grab just because how old he was. He goes for about 25 bucks as well, so already at like freaking, I don't even know, like what, 60 bucks or something? And I paid 10 for all those plushies, so we're already killing it. But now let's get into the Sanrio stuff. So I already mentioned this item, so we're gonna start off with this. This is the Choco Cat cork board here. This is made for you to like pin up photos, could schedule stuff on there. It's got a wood framing on it, and when I start naming these prices, you guys are not gonna believe this, but when it comes to vintage Sanrio products, the prices can get very, very steep just because they are so collectible by so many people around the world, really. So for this guy right here, there was only one I was able to find that was actually, I think, a Hello Kitty one that sold for about 60 bucks, and I could not find any sold or any listed for the Choco Cat one, so that meant to me that this one was likely more rare than the Hello Kitty one was. And when you're the only one up, and it's also a brand like Sanrio that has a lot of demand, you can kind of name your price. So I just put it up for 100 bucks, and I already sold one of them like the first day, and I bought 10 of these, so I'm pretty sure, you know, I might not get 100 for all of them. You know, I might have to start lowering the price, but we're getting close to Christmas time, so I wouldn't be surprised if we still end up with around, like, I wouldn't say 1,000 bucks, but if we end up with like $650 from just these freaking pegboards, I would be, I mean, if I got to freaking 300, I'd be happy, but I think 600 is more realistic. So let's add $600 onto the value. We already cleared it with just this freaking pegboard. I bought 10 of them. I only brought one out here because there's too many to bring. And I'm also going to be giving away one of them. So technically I'm only going to have 9, but I'm so much in the clear, I figured out I'm going to give it to the rep pack. So I am giving away one of these vintage Choco Cat boards here, valued at what so far has been $100 on my Whatnot stream. So if you guys are a Sanrio fan, go check it out. The link will be down below. You get $15 for free when you sign up, and that $15 you can use in my show when you get to checkout. And many of these Sanrio items, you will see some of them on Whatnot. Of course, when I get like a whole lot of the items, I'm gonna put some on my shop, but a few of them I don't mind making a little bit less on it because I got them for just a good price. So many Sanrio items, or any of the other items in this video, you will likely see over on my Whatnot stream. So we're at 600 right now. I mean, come on, dude. Like, what the frick? Next up, we have these Choco Cat folders here that I mentioned to you guys. Sold most recently 30 bucks for one. I have 5 of them. I could have, there was literally like a stack. I should have bought all of them, but I just didn't know in the moment. So I have 6 of them. So if you do 20, let's just do $25 each for them, you know, assuming that, you know, it goes a little lower maybe, which I don't think will be the case. We still made about 150 bucks on these, and I paid $5 each, which is 25. So I basically got the rest for free. I just hit myself in the face with them too, but you know what? Ryan cut that, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Next up is this Choco Cat clock here, and I did get a total of 5 of these. I have 2 cases that have 2 each in them. So I have 5 of these clocks. The only one I could find online was a used one, and they were pricing it about $50 with like $20 shipping or something like that. And it had a lot of watchers and a lot of views and activity, so it's a matter of time before it probably sells. But this one's never been used, so I'm gonna say we could for sure nail that 50 bucks, even maybe more, but I'm gonna go ahead and just go with 50 bucks. So you guys know me, I like to keep the numbers realistic, low, and generous on the low side because I want to make sure our numbers are a solid, realistic number. So it could could be higher, it could be lower, but I'm gonna say 50 bucks for these, so that brings us to another $250 added to our haul. I didn't realize that it was like one of those once in a blue moon type of days until I got home, because I looked a couple items up, but a lot of stuff I was going off of my instinct, and if I could go back, I would have bought so much more. But let's just keep going here. Next up, the Hello Kitty folder. I bought, I think, 5 of these as well too. Also about $25, so $125 added with the folders. This is gonna be a big hitter here, because these bowls, that was the item I kind of went crazy on, because the guy told me, oh, well, I have these bowls, and he was charging $15 for everybody on them, but for me, because of the fact that I was picking up so much stuff, I just kind of was like, hey, how much would we do for like that stack of bowls? And he was like, we can do $5 each since you're getting so much other stuff. So I think I got 25 of these bowls. 25 of them, because like, you know, it takes up a space of like this much really, because they all stack into each other. It's not that big of an item at that point. One bowl, kind of awkward, but if it takes up a plate the same area, about 25, not that bad. And the only recently one sold was used, and it sold for 30 bucks. So new, probably more, but we're gonna say 30 bucks just so we can get them out of here fast. So 30 times $25 on them. I freaking hate doing math. Carry the number over, and we're looking at around a little over $750 on these bowls. They might not be gone tomorrow. It may take maybe a year or more, maybe less, but slowly but surely they are gonna start cleaning out and selling. And I love items like that where you can just put them somewhere, forget about them, and every couple of weeks you just throw one in a box, ship it out, and boom, you got 25 bucks. That helps immensely with helping grow this collection and also helping, you know, keep the lights on in here and stuff. So very, very awesome. I don't know where we're at right now, but I feel like it's a ludicrous number, like just stupid number that I can't believe, and I'm so grateful. I did not expect that at all. Next up, these clipboards here. There's one that was $25, but they took a best offer, so I don't know what that best offer was, but I'm just gonna say $10 on these. $10 plus $5 shipping, so we're looking at maybe 100 bucks. I got 10 of them. And then I bought so much stuff, he gave me this for free. These were going for about 30 bucks as well too. This is like an eating tray. It's kind of a small one, but it is like an eating tray. Another 30 bucks. I got these cinnamon roll wrist bags here, like wrist coin purse. And I could not find them, but I found a similar coin purse, like wrist one, that was going for about $10. But I still am just gonna say zero value on these, just so in case I was high on anything else. You know how it goes. If I was high on anything else, this value will be free, so that way, whatever highness you think I might have gone on something else, this value would have been that, you know? So zero on that, and we're also gonna say zero on this bag. I got this bag for Karina because I thought this would be a really useful bag. It's like a very nice like picnic style tote bag, but I didn't realize until I got home that it had like this stain here on the back. So unfortunately it's not going to be new. I'm going to spray it down with some OxyClean and before I give it to her, and hopefully I can get those out. So but we're going to do no value on this as well too, because it's a gift, and again, if I went high on anything else, I have that value from this. Then these Spongebob coin purses as well too. These go for about 15 bucks, but like I said, we're so ludicrously over. I'm just gonna keep going with 3 items here because I want to make sure that that number is like realistic as heck of the total value. So technically this would be 30, but we're gonna say free just because of the fact, like I said, I want to be confident in that number that we currently have on screen there. Next up, we have this Tweety coin purse here that goes for about 30 bucks as well too. There's only one listed, it's used, and they're asking 30 bucks and like $10 shipping. But I already know I'm gonna be bringing this to my Whatnot stream. I have 2 people on my Whatnot stream that love Tweety and Looney Tunes stuff, and I would love for them to be able to get this, and I'm gonna ask significantly less than that. I'm probably a starting bid on this, like, you know, between $5 to $10, so that way they can pick it up. So I won't get that maximum value on this one, but I just know that they would really love this, so we're just gonna say 10 bucks on this one. Next up is a Spongebob like hanging wallet here. These don't go for a whole ton because for some reason, like every time I ever find these, they're usually like in lost inventory like that. So they always have like multiple of these that like nobody ever bought. I don't have this one, so I was pumped for it, and it makes me super happy. So to me, it's priceless. And is super valuable, but they go for about 10 bucks. So we'll add 10 bucks on there. So next up, I got all of these Lizzie McGuire like lip balms here. You guys are seeing some close-up shots. They are really like freaking burnt out. I don't think that the ones that have lip gloss on them with the figure on there are probably worth a ton, but the thing is they have these little key rings on there that you can easily add to a keychain. And if you know Lizzie McGuire, all of the merch for that show is super collectible and often very expensive. So I'm really just hyped about the keychains. I have two of this bigger keychain, the other one's somewhere in here, but it fell out the little blister. So I would honestly, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think somebody would pay $25 for that bigger keychain, this like bigger size one here, just because you just can't find this stuff. But again, I love to be like, you know, very undervalued. So I'm just gonna say 25 for both. And we'll say 0 value on these like lip gloss ones because they're very small keychains. Kind of at the top there. But I think that's a super generous number just because Lizzie McGuire is more collectible than you would think. And then this desktop organizer, I could not find another one on eBay, but I'm just gonna throw a value at it and say $25, even though I think that's probably pretty low. 25 bucks. I know that was a lot of coverage there. I'm sorry guys, we have to get back into the freaking hunt here, but that was a lot of stuff I got at that booth, so I had to cover it all. So yeah, we're at this number, which is insane. Let's just go ahead and keep on moving here. I'm not joking when I tell you, it just keeps getting better today. It was an insane day. All right, so going back into it here, we're making our way to another booth. Oh wait, actually I forgot one more thing. Sorry guys, I also got these bags, these Sanrio bags here from the Sanrio store from 2002. And I got a whole freaking case of them, which it could be worth nothing or it could be worth a lot, you know, like after selling them all off. You guys probably remember that Target basket that I bought last flea market video. I bought it for $5. I already sold it for 60 bucks. So I have a lot of luck with like advertising stuff, much like how I collect the old Spongebob Burger King bags and cups and stuff like that, and I've paid a lot for them. Some people will pay a lot for packaging for stuff because most people threw them out and there's not a lot of them out there, and it brings back a lot of nostalgia for people maybe shopping at the store as a kid or as a teenager. So, you know, we could end up making like 10 bucks each on these, or we could end up making nothing. So it's just one of those things you throw up there, you just see what happens, and then if nothing, then you just, you know, get rid of them and donate them, use them around your house, whatever. But wanted to show you guys that. Let's continue on now.
So these are like a bunch of old school toys. It looks like these are like dollar toys, but like back in, man, what, the 70s? These are absolutely rad. So you can see the doctor kit here, like literally dollar, like old school. Maybe they weren't even dollars, this was like Five Below prices back then. But you guys can see they have all of these old school toys here. You have this little Mickey Mouse like like canteen that holds like an ounce of water. You got the bubble wand here, dude. These are freaking awesome, dude. I used to have some of these as a kid, not this one, but damn, dude, look at that. Even kid has the classic 1980s kid hat. The only thing it needs is a little freaking propeller on it.
So working our way around the flea market, of course, we ran back into our friends at Pickle Game Squad. There's a lot of awesome people at this flea market, but some of the people that I talk to the most are the guys at Pixel Game Squad, just because we can relate on the YouTube aspect of what we're doing. And Ricky actually brought this awesome freaking Hulk Hogan, like, giant plushie here. So I wanted to film a little clip with that, a little RIP to Hulk Hogan. I know Hulk Hogan is like a controversial figure for like multiple different reasons or whatever, but I don't think it's about that. When somebody passes away, it's a sad situation. Regardless of, you know, what you think about them, I think it's a loss of life is a waste and sad no matter what the situation is. And I'm not here to cast judgment. Regardless of whatever I or anybody else thinks, he still had a significant impact on a lot of people's childhood, and it's a very nostalgic figure, so I did want to give him a little RIP there.
How much are the Pokemon?
Those are 20.
20?
Yeah.
Mega Charizard is cool. Pass on it for now, but very, very cool. I would have grabbed it, but I already have that one, so therefore I decided to leave it. Ooh, is that Rodney I see? Yes, it is. It's Rodney here from the Robots movie. That is a sweet pickup there. Let's hope it's a good price though. Rodney is so cool. Okay, so I had to pay that guy the 30 bucks I still owed him from all the Sanrio stuff. And I grabbed Rodney here for $5, so not a bad pickup at all. I love that.
So moving along, I found this booth here, and they have these 2 Disney like drink cups. These also do really well for me, just because of the fact I live in here in Southern California. I get them a lot more often than probably most people do around the country, other than Florida. So they sell pretty well, and I can get them pretty cheap here because they're readily available. So I grabbed the Baymax one as well as the Monsters Inc. like thermos style one that actually screams. There's a really cool effect to it, but I grabbed those 2. There was a Hello Kitty in the background, but I had had enough of Sanrio at that point, so I didn't grab that or the Rudolph. I kind of wish I would have grabbed that Rudolph over there, but you know, it is what it is. And then right before I left, I actually spotted this Peach bag, and I was thinking she was gonna say like $15 or $20. When she said $5, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grab that. So I also grabbed the Peach bag. Right across the way from that one, this guy had this Sesame Street like vintage lunchbox, so I grabbed that one. I paid $5 for that as well, and it's brand new with the tag and has the thermos in it as well. So that was a definite pickup for me. Plus I had an ad in there for like a bunch of stuff from the grocery store, including an ad for the Clifford and Arthur fruit snacks. So that was a little fun throwback in here, but yeah, it's brand new, has the thermos and all. Although the thermos is kind of boring. And then there was these golf cutouts here. I thought they were like something by Jim Davis. Like the art style looked very Jim Davis-esque, and I don't even know why I bought these. Like, I guess just because the deal he gave me was so good, but I got home, I kind of regretted it a little bit. But I only paid 15 bucks, and he gave me the entire box of these. Retail at the store, just one of them was going for $19.99 back in the day. You can see here on the case where it says $19.99, and one of them does sell for $25. This particular like comic sold for 25 bucks, but they're all different. Like there's some of the same one, but there's a lot of other ones that are different, and those ones I couldn't find any sales of. So I feel like these are something that's gonna take forever, if not never sell. So I don't know if this is a good pickup or not. My thought is I just keep all the ones with this design, and if I can get one of them to sell, at least I get my money back. But you know, they say hindsight is 20/20. So we're gonna go ahead and say we made $20 in value here. Who knows, maybe all these fly off the shelf at freaking $15 each, but I don't see that happening. So we're gonna go with $20 for that whole case. I'm just working my way down the aisles here, and I find another booth that has some amazing stuff. Well, actually one item in particular. I spotted this Beatles freaking lava lamp, and I pick up almost every lava lamp that I see if it's older than 2005. Vintage lava lamps always do really well. It became a brief little obsession of mine of like collecting 2000s and 90s lights, so I know that they are relatively expensive because I've paid quite a bit for some. But it's mostly the ones that are 2005 or earlier. But on top of that, if they are designed or unique in some type of way, that can make them even more valuable. So I had never seen a Beatles one before. He wanted me to pay 20 bucks for it, and I didn't ask any questions. I paid the 20 bucks. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it or not, but you guys will find out a little bit later here. It was definitely worth it for 20 bucks. He also had these Heelys, which just brought back so many memories. This is the original Heelys, like the box was back in the day too. I probably should have, and plus it had this little thing, like, you know, the thing that you actually put instead of the wheels, so that way you didn't have to have the wheels all the time. You could have like a regular shoe. It had that too, which like everybody lost it. Like every kid ever did not have that little thing that went into the bottom. And plus those shoes were incredibly uncomfortable because you had this like square shell that was holding the wheel underneath your heel all the time. They probably called them Heelys because you lost your heels. After putting the lava lamp away, making sure it was a good pickup, I ended up spotting a Scooby-Doo along the way, which I felt really bad about grabbing the Scooby-Doo actually, because right after I grabbed that, like this girl walked up to me and she was like, oh, I just came over here for that Scooby, and I didn't know what to say. I was like, I already paid for it. Like I had that Scooby in my hand for like 10 minutes while I was like looking around. She had just walked up, so I didn't know what to say to that, and I was like, oh. And then I just walked away, and I was really awkward because I just was like, do I say, do you want it? But I paid for it, you know? I was like, do you want to give me the money that I paid him for it? I didn't know what to say, so I just was like, oh, sorry, and then I walked away. But I also grabbed these two Furbies here. Yes, I know I had the issue of last video where I grabbed the Furby, and he did not stop talking until I got all the way home. And that happened again. I grabbed the Furby, I tried to be as careful as I could, and somehow still they got activated along this trip, and I had a Furby yet again talking to me throughout the entire trip, and it was driving me absolutely insane. And I think this may be the last time I ever pick up a Furby. But they do sell for about $20 to $25 each, and I got them both for freaking $3 each, so $6 and a $50. I'm willing to do it again, but after experiencing that again, I'm not getting any more Furbies. I think this might be the last time I pick up Furbies, despite the value in them. And I also grabbed this Ash Ketchum hat, which is not licensed, but you know, it's kind of cool, right? So I'm gonna throw it in the washer, and I don't know, I might put it in my Pokemon collection, just kind of hanging somewhere as a little display piece, or I might bring it over to my Whatnot stream and just, you know, do a starting bid of $1. I just thought it was kind of a cool little, you know, I didn't want to leave it behind, just for the younger me's nostalgia. After not finding anything there, I found one of my favorite booths ever. They're only here every once every month or so, even less than that sometimes. But it's a store that does all collectibles, like all geeky, nerdy stuff like that. My favorite things in the world. And they usually do conventions and they do like different like pop-up shop type stuff. But every now and then they come to the flea market to kind of liquidate all the stuff that they didn't sell, or stuff that maybe they had in like their storage, just to kind of empty out what they have to kind of start getting new inventory in to bring to their cons. So they sell stuff for freaking dirt cheap because they just want to get all of it gone as fast as they can. And I'm able to find some really fun stuff every time they come.
How much are the plush, man?
$3 each, man.
$3 each? Doesn't have the tag on here, so I'm not sure on this Gary, but I'll take him for $3. Got Sully here too. Alien, yeah, we're about to load up on a bunch of plush. You guys know how much I love my plush stuff, and there's a bunch here, and $5 each too. Alright, so $3 each. I'm grabbing a Fix-It Felix, I'm grabbing Quail Dog, I'm gonna grab Dexter, you got to Must, and we're gonna grab Charizard, because yeah, Charizard's sick. And then we have the cars. You guys saw me last flea market video. I picked up all those cars. I actually ended up keeping quite a few of them just because, you know, I'm a big Cars fan too, so it was hard to let go of some of them, but there's still a few that I was like looking up online that I'm interested in getting, but I don't see any of them here. How much is the stuff in the bin up here, man? $1? Gotcha, I'll take a look.
Okay, so doing our little summary here, we got the Baymax. He goes for about 15. This guy, pretty much all the time, they always sell well because they're such a cool prop piece. They go for about 25 bucks. Peach Purse, I'm gonna say like, I don't know, like freaking $10, maybe like $5 because there's new ones for $18, but I think it was still pretty cool. The Furbies, about $15 each, but I got them both for $3 each, so it's $30 altogether. Scooby goes for about $20. And the lava lamp. I could not find this exact one, but I found some much less interesting ones that sold for about 100 to 130. So I wouldn't doubt if we could probably get about 150 for this guy, but let's just go ahead and say 100 for right now. But what a cool piece. The Sesame Street bag, I could not find this exact one, but similar ones were going for about 15 to 20 bucks. Ash's hat, worthless. Okay, so now when it comes to the, like when we were at that booth, we got a lot of smalls. So what I mean by smalls are basically items that are worth around somewhere between $10 to $20, but they're all generally around there. So we're just gonna kind of roughly do this because it would take forever to like break down each item. So the Funko Pops, he was asking $3 each on them. We did pick up the Pork Chop, the Charizard, the Dexter, and also the Fix-It Felix, and they all go for about $10 to $15. So let's just go ahead and say $40 across the board. Considering we got them all for $12, what a steal. And these are all people that are well aware of the market too. They just are trying to clean it out, so I love being able to shop with them too. And they have the funnest stuff. There's no like having to dig too deep to find something fun. There's just fun stuff everywhere. So this Gary, I know off the top of my head, goes for about 12 bucks. What is 10? Sully, 10 bucks. Finnegan, 10 bucks. And this little Spongebob, I don't even know when in the video I found this, but this little disgusting Spongebob here. He's got all this little like freaking stuff on him. Yeah, he told me I could have this one for free. because he was so gross. And I was gonna buy him because I was like, man, like I feel so bad for this SpongeBob. He was a fair prize. Some kid won at the fair. You could tell by the string here, and it also has the not for resale tag on it. So he was definitely a fair arcade prize. And I felt so bad for him. I just grabbed him. I'm gonna wash him and clean him up and give him a brand new life. The Chuck E. Cheese inflatable hammer, 10 bucks. All of these Christmas ornaments that we got here, some of them are like, 2 of them are like $15. The cheapest one's $10. So we have 4 of them there, about 10 bucks each. Pikachu, 10 bucks. Alien, 5 bucks. And Babe the cow from some movie by Ty, 10 bucks. It's kind of crazy, but they are all really 10 bucks. Then also this Furby, he goes for about 36 bucks. Now for all of these small items, you will see like in this case of this Luigi, he goes for $16. I love little items like this. They were all $1 each on all these little items. So the Luigi, this Daggett, everything was $1. These little figures like this, I have so many of them in my shop because you can fit an amazing amount of them in bins, and it's like you can put like 500 listings in like one bin because these items are so small. And yeah, you only make like $5-6 bucks on them after fees and shipping and everything like that. But if you're getting them for $1, $5, and all you have to do is wrap it up really well, throw it in a poly bag, or I have these small boxes that are like 6x6x4, I think, and it takes no time. So I love these type of items. I'm just gonna say I could probably get more than this, but I'm just gonna say all together, we'll just say all these minifigures here, 20 bucks for all of it.
The games are 4 for $20, so I'm gonna grab a lot of. Sorry, I'm talking to this.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna grab some SpongeBob games here. I don't know if I have some of these on Wii or not. I know some of them I have on PS2 and whatnot, but I don't know about Wii, so I'm gonna grab them. Let me see if I can find one more. Alright, so I didn't have another one. I grabbed 2 SpongeBob games. We grabbed Smash Bros, always a good grab. And then I grabbed this Dora game because I couldn't find a 4th game. And I mean, at least technically it's a Nickelodeon item. Alright, so we have been spending a lot of time in like singular booths today. So I'm sorry if it's all kind of in one place, but we are finding quite a bit.
So I didn't find anything else in that row, but I did end up walking to the other side. And they actually had a couple really interesting booths here. There was this booth right next to it though that did have this Looney Tunes cookie jar. And I was very hesitant on it because I have a few cookie jars in my collection already. But like I said, we have a lot of people in my Whatnot stream that really love Looney Tunes. And I already have a Bugs Bunny one, so I thought about grabbing this one. And I was just about to leave it, but then I asked for the price and they said 15. And I was like, man, 15's like cheap enough to where I might want to actually deal with it, because I mostly just don't like shipping stuff like this because it's so big, it's hollow, they're fragile, and we're really good at making sure stuff doesn't get damaged, but I hate just taking the risk if I don't have to. We've got like 99.9% feedback on our Whatnot stream. Not to say that mistakes have never happened, but it had to be really worth it for me to even be willing to take the risk on it. And I asked her $10, and she said $10. I was like, okay, so for $10 you get a vintage Looney Tunes cookie jar. I had to get it. So I ended up getting it, and it's brand spanking new. It has never been out of like the original packaging. Somebody just bought it, probably had it in storage, and that was it. But it's Sylvester and Tweety. It is really, really cute. Like, I might sell it, but I'm honestly very debating on just keeping it because I just love Tweety and Sylvester so much. If anything, I might even just sell my Bugs Bunny one and keep this one. So one of my favorite booths, I just didn't get to make it to there because I spent a lot of time at that Hello Kitty booth. So a lot of these booths, I didn't even get a chance to see what they had at the start of the morning because I was just busy grabbing stuff there, and I don't regret it because that was such a good haul at the Hello Kitty stuff. But this booth had all Y2K stuff, like all Y2K, and I was like, man, I wonder what stuff was there earlier in the morning. Because I know that there had to have been some gems there, because even when I got there very late, there was some gems still. But I think I actually did voice over a part of this like live, so we'll just play footage from that whole booth.
At this point, a lot of the stuff has been picked over a little bit. Doesn't mean we can't find something. I've found a lot of my best finds at the end of the day, but it is a little harder. Hit Clips, is there a Hit Clips disc? Dude, Ryan, play a clip from Hit Clips, like a little, like play an ad for Hit Clips.
School at 8:15? Whose idea was that? But I go in style with new Hicklip's music player, like my fat fashion flower that clips right on my backpack, so I can listen to Vanessa, Michelle, and Hilary Duff.
Look at these Astro Jacks. It's like a yo-yo toy. I kind of remember this too. Why is there so many awesome like It's like the most Y2K stuff. I just wish I would have got here a little earlier, but you can only be in so many places at once because I was at the Sanrio stuff when this stuff probably got put out. So, man, I wish I would have gotten here earlier too. Look at this Shamu, SeaWorld. Like, what is this? Like a little this is like a little stationary kit with Shamu on it from SeaWorld. This is so freaking cute and cool. Oh man, if I find a freaking diary, password diary journal, then I'm gonna freaking lose it because this is such a Y2K booth. Like, you'd be able to find it possibly, but I don't see it. Alright, I usually never find any of the stuff I'm looking for at this one, but I always check here, and again, this is the chaos booth where it's just everywhere. There's just stuff like craziness. If I ever die at the flea market and you guys just can't find me, check this booth first, because this is probably where I probably fell and got impaled by something like this stuff here, or this freaking, like, why is this even out like this?
This booth next to it though straight up looked like heaven. Like, there was just rows and rows of toys. Like, look at this. Like, the person who set this booth up deserves every freaking cent that she made this day, because that was the most organized toy booth I've ever seen. Typically, it's just all the toys thrown in bins, and you gotta dig through them. They get scraped up, rubbing up against each other as people look. But man, what a setup there. She had all the shelves. It looked like a full-blown, like, Toy-Con, like, setup. So I grabbed this Pac-Man machine here. They can go for good money just out of the box, but in the box, they're, you know, I'm sure even better. So I just grabbed the Pac-Man, and I didn't grab that many toys, unfortunately. Even though it was so organized, I was tempted, but there just wasn't a lot of stuff there that was for me. And there was a lot of modern stuff too, so that's probably a good reason why. At the end of this clip, that is when I realized the camera was in slow-mo the entire time. So all the footage after this, just know that, like, I was still having fun because we found some awesome stuff that day. And, you know, I, like, was still finding some cool stuff. But I was crying a little bit off camera behind the cam. Not really crying, but, like, I was quite internally miserable. Because I knew that I effed up really bad, and, like, I knew it was going to make Ryan's job harder. It was going to make my job harder. And that's not fun, you know, so I was quite internally miserable. But anyway, we got the camera back going though. So coming over to this booth here, I saw this knockoff Blue's Clues. He had no spots on him. This is blue, I don't got a clue. But I saw $1 on the floor there. When I see $1 on the floor, that means I am friggin' going over there. I'm getting on my knees and I'm gonna see what I can find, because there's so much good stuff found in the dollar bin. So I found this little Chica, like, balloon plush here. I think that's like Toy Chica or something. I could be wrong. I did grab that one. I also found Karina, this little Skibbity toilet guy. I know she's a big fan of those, so I wanted to, you know, see if that was worth grabbing. I did find this little guy on the fingerboard here, and I thought about getting him, but, you know, I only collect really, like, the branded ones, like Nickelodeon or, you know, cartoon-related ones at this point, because I have quite a few of them. Okay, so then I walked down the path. I finally got to this side of the flea market. I looked down and I saw this little Garfield book, but then next to it I saw this. This is actually like a little Lyft display. It's kind of like Uber. You guys know the app Lyft, where you can, you know, get rides and stuff. But that goes in the front of their dash. It lights up so that way people know that it's an actual Lyft, even though anybody could just buy that thing. And I also grabbed this Space Invaders plug and play too, you know, to go with my Pac-Man one. And she wanted $8, I think, for both of them. And the Lyft, like, little light, those, again, advertising. I'm a big fan of, like, these little advertising pieces because they go for good money. I've sold several of those Lyft things for like $50 to $60 if they work, of course. And yeah, that you find them all the time because, you know, people do Lyft and then they give up on it, or, you know, change jobs and then they just throw them out or they donate them. And, you know, I find them at thrift stores, I find them at the flea market, so I had to grab that. I got a couple shots of the flea market, but then I found my friend Albert's booth, and he always has like these plushes and toys in the back of the flea market, or the back of his store, his shop, his spot, whatever you want to call it. And I usually walk straight there. I found a Spongebob, a little friggin' Spongebob, so I had to grab him, of course. And a little pink koala, you know, this penguin in like a corn husk or something. There's a lot of weird plushies here. You know, kids have weird plushies these days. And I grabbed Kirby, this little squished Kirby that's like sitting on his bum. I don't think I grabbed anything else here. Like I said, there was this Yosemite Sam, but his freaking his Jordans were falling off of his feet. And there was a bunch of other generic, like, you know, plushies. But I grabbed those two guys. Always a win when you find a Spongebob. Carrying on, we're getting towards the end of the flea market. I saw another little plush spot here. You know me, I just follow the colors, and that's usually where I land, and that's the stuff that I want. So I looked through all these plushies. Saw a little snowman Scooby. He's pretty cool, but he had a voice box, and I just didn't really feel like checking the battery compartment and stuff, and he wasn't that great of a plush. Then I saw this bin here that had these 7 dwarves in there, and I always see those dwarves separately, but I'd never seen all of them in the bag like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and ask about the dwarves, because you have all 7 there. I counted them out, and I also found this, I think her name is Bop from the Barney series, so I grabbed that as well too. So I turned the camera back on because I went to the last row at the other end one time because I didn't go there, and there was something that I was really hyped about. I'm a big Ben 10 fan, and I just could not believe this was here. I've never seen this before, but this is the Ben 10 ride from Alien Force, I believe. This is crazy. I'm a big Ben 10 fan. Many of you guys already know that. It's one of my favorite series on Cartoon Network, and I've never seen this before. This is his ride in some of the later series, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna ask about this. The guy gave it to me, I think for like $6, and that is an unbelievably rare piece, so I was super pumped to get it. There was a lady you saw on the left there, and I thought she was gonna grab it, so I was like pretending to look at stuff, like, you know, doing that thing where you're like, please put that down, please put that down, please don't buy that. But she wasn't even looking at that, actually. She was looking at something right above it, so I picked it up, and I was super pumped on it. But let's go ahead and do our review here and take a look at everything that we've picked up thus far. We're going to look at everything, but I want to start with the Ben 10 card, because this, I knew it was a rare item when I saw it, but I had no clue how rare it would be. It is a little bit scraped up, but not very badly. And this Ben 10 car, just a car without the remote, goes for about 40 bucks. The remote itself sells for about $25. So I'm thinking you put those two things together, you end up with like 65 bucks. 65 bucks is a lot for a freaking random RC car that's probably not even that good of an RC car. It's strictly because it's Ben 10. So $65 item there. Woo! I picked up these 2 DVDs actually earlier in the video. I just forgot to add them in here. The Abra Catastrophe and also Monsters vs. Aliens on Blu-ray. We're going to add no value for these. These are both going in my collection. Well, this one I might put on Whatnot because I think I already have this, but this one's going in my collection because I do not have this on Blu-ray. I do have it, but I have it on 3D, and I don't have a 3D TV. I just didn't know that's what it meant. I thought the movie was just in 3D, and I had like glasses or something, but no. Smash Bros. Here was going for about $15. The Spongebob games go for about $10 a piece, and the Dora game is pretty much worthless. But we are going to add them together. That brings us to 35 bucks. I paid $20 for it, so I mean, not like some freaking hand over fist deal, but worth it for, you know, the fact that 2 of them are going in my collection. This Spongebob here goes for about 10 bucks. The Pac-Man plug and play I paid $5 for, goes for about 35 to 40 bucks. The Space Invaders goes for about 15. The lift thing that I told you guys about sells for about 70, but we're gonna just add 60. The Miguel, I knew Miguel was going to be decent because he's kind of an obscure character to be in plush form. He goes for about 25 bucks. This little Bop here, I could not find any with this little thing here. So what do you call this? A rattle or like a little ring around? I don't know. What do you call this? Ringworm? I don't know. But whatever. This thing goes for about 15 bucks, we're going to say, because regular Bop goes for about that much. And then, well, let's just say 10. Okay. Kirby, about 10 bucks. These two Thomas the Train Engines go for about $10 each, but let's just do 10 for both. And Chica goes for about $8. But after shipping and fees, it's like $3.50, so let's just do 0 value. Mr. Rodney. Is Rodney his name? I think I already said that. Robbie I said earlier. I think it's Rodney. Is it Rodney? Like Rodney Oil Slick or something? What is his name? He's from El Segundo, California though. But yeah, he goes for about $15. I think he is superiorly underrated or inferiorly underrated. He is such a cool plush. Like, it's so good quality. Like, it's such a weird character to even make a plush, and they did it. Astro Jack. It sounds like a bad superhero comic in the 90s. Goes for $30. Shamu here. I could not find this exact one, but a similar one sold for 40 bucks. We're just gonna do 20. And the Looney Tunes cookie jar here goes for $60 free shipping, but I mean, there's no way you're shipping this for free, so probably like 40 bucks on screen there for you. And that is it, actually. So man, I mean, obviously the significant part of our overall value was from the Hello Kitty stuff or the Sanrio stuff, but boy was it a lot of fun today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry this video was a little bit, oh I forgot the 7 Dwarfs. The 7 Dwarfs were like the worst pickup ever. They were like worth like $20 and I paid 15, I think, so rip off. You can't win them all though, right? But anyway, I'm sorry the video is all over the place just because of like the slow-mo thing. Hopefully next time it works a little bit smoother. When I say these flea market videos are a lot of work, they really are. Just from the filming process, the commentary aspect of it does make it a little bit easier and a little bit more streamlined to where we can put them out a little faster for you guys. I would ideally love to where we can do these more often, and that's what our goal is to get better at them and make the process smoother so we can do that. But thank you for holding us down throughout this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here. If you guys want to pick up any of the stuff that you saw today, there's a good chance you're gonna find it over on my Whatnot stream. Of course, a couple items adding to my personal collection, but everything else is going right over to our Whatnot stream. So go check it out down below. You get 15 bucks for free just for signing up. You could win the Choco Cat cork board as well. And if you want to be one of the ultimate supporters of this show, you can also become a member right here on YouTube and support the show. Or you can also join our Patreon. You get access to videos that are not available anywhere else. And on Patreon, you also get extended versions of every video that I upload here on YouTube. So alright, so on that note, again, Patreon, Whatnot, all that's down below. I'll see you guys in this video over here that I know you're gonna love. And as always, Rep Pack, actually that'll take you to the playlist of all the flea market videos, so you can check out some other ones. I'll see you guys over there, and as always, I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Astro Jack!